Hey, we might have to switch over to the phone, maybe. But go ahead.
17.
Let me know when it's back up.
Therefore he brought upon them the king of the Chaldees, who slew the young men with the sword in the house of their sanctuary, and had no compassion upon young men or maiden, old man, or him that stooped for age.
So when Nebuchadnezzar come through, it's like he didn't care. You know what I mean? It's just like when the Gentile brought, there you go, when they brought us over here to America, they didn't care. You know what I mean? Like anybody, man, woman, was getting on the trading blocks. You know what I'm saying? It was, and it is worse than the NFL combine because they had you butt naked. You know what I'm saying? They was greasing you down. I mean, it was just, man, they don't care though. Little boys, little girls, and then make it so bad what they did to us. We're gonna talk about it a little bit, but go ahead.
He gave them all into his hands.
So notice it's saying that therefore he brought upon them the king of the Chaldean. Who is he that brought upon the king of the Chaldean, y'all? Say that again? God. That's who this he is right here. God brought upon them the Chaldean. It said, therefore he brought, because remember, it said, but they mocked, verse 16, the messengers of God, despised his word, misused his prophet, till the wrath of the Lord rose against his people, till there was no remedy. Therefore he, God, brought upon them the Chaldeans, who slew their young men with the sword in the house of their sanctuary, had no compassion upon young men or maiden, old men, or him that stooped for age. He gave them all into his hand. The Lord did this. Go ahead.
And all the vessels of the house of God, great and small.
Yes.
And the treasures of the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the king, and of his princes. All these he brought to Babylon.
Go ahead.
And they burnt the house of God, and brake down the wall of Jerusalem, and burnt all the palaces thereof with fire, and destroyed all the goodly vessels thereof. And them that had escaped from the sword carried he away to Babylon.
Yes.
Where they were servants to him and his sons until the reign of the kingdom of Persia.
Right. So that lets you know something else too. Chronicles was written after we left captivity. FYI, because we gonna see in the next chapter, in the next book, when we get to Ezra, we're gonna see us coming out of that first captivity. All right. But truth be told, really, this is the last. Like I said, this was the last king of Israel. So really, this is us going into captivity, and we ain't never returned. Like even when Jesus was in the land, we was in captivity, y'all. Our king was an Edomite, by the way, Esau. So I'm just saying, like this is it right here. Go ahead. What verse?
Verse 21.
All right.
To fulfill the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah, until the land had enjoyed her Sabbaths. For as long as she lay desolate, she kept Sabbath to fulfill 70 years.
Yes, because at the end of the day, what the Lord is saying is, the Lord blessed a particular day, but the land is blessed too. And he's saying, yo, this land need to keep its Sabbath though. So heck, if y'all won't get it done while y'all in here, then I'll put you out and we'll let this land rest. It'll just lie desolate. Not somebody move in at this point. Not somebody move in that's gonna do it. But I'm going to let this land lay desolate. Let's go over to Ezra now, chapter 1. We're about to find the first time we see Jew in the Bible. The first time, because in order, it say what happened to the biblical Jew. What I want to do first is show you what a Jew is. So that we got a clarity on what they are. And Jews don't even exist prior to us going into exile. Like, meaning, we're going into this Babylonian captivity. If you do your homework, you understand that after the Babylonians came the Medo-Persian Empire. And then from the Medo-Persian Empire, you get the Greek Empire. You learn this in your regular history classes. And then after the Greek Empire, you now and finally get the Roman Empire. And what you learn is the Roman Empire, although it started around 400 or 500 before Christ, so that's 400-500 years before Christ. And although it fell 500-600 after Christ, so that's 1,000 years, that the Roman Empire, whether it was ran by Caesars, whether it was just ran by an emperor, whether it was ran by the Senate or the Republic, you know what I'm saying? It was always the Roman Empire. Well, when it fell, it resurrected itself, and it was now called the Holy Roman Empire, officially. Different people, Charles V, Charlemagne, Otto the Great, they all came up and said, Justinian, this is the Holy Roman Empire. So this empire lasts 2,000 years, really, when you look at it, longer than that, because it's still here today.